Welcome to Rewatch and Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other. And today's episode is Prologue Dash Land of Waves arc, episode 7, The Assassin of the Mist. Episode in a nutshell is a brief reminder of what happens in the episode. So in this episode, it begins with the team on a boat being rowed through the fog, and the rower warns everybody to be quiet because if they get caught, they'll be in big trouble. And this leads to Kakashi asking Tazuna who is after you and why, and Tazuna explains about Gato. He may be like a business mogul, but he's also part of the seedy underworld, and he traffics and takes over nations. And because the Land of Waves is an island, once he took over all of like the ship areas, he was in complete control of the government, the citizens, the economy, etc. And that is why he is so threatened by the bridge, which will give the Land of Waves access to travel over the bridge to trade their goods, and they won't be reliant solely on him, which means he will then lose control of this area that he has decided to take over. And then he tries to, say, oh, but please still keep taking my mission because I have a daughter and a grandson and they'll be so sad if I'm dead. And of course, they were planning to take the job anyways and continue the job anyways, so kind of pointless, but they then make it to shore. Once they're on shore, they journey towards Tazuna's home, and Naruto takes the opportunity to try to show off because of his poor showing previously and starts throwing his kunai around to say, oh, I've sensed a presence, and then it ends up first being a mouse, and then he throws a second kunai, and this time he almost hits a rabbit. And of course, Sakura and Sasuke kind of make fun of him for that, it was just a bunny. But Kakashi notices that the bunny is entirely white, and typically the snow rabbits only turn white in winter when there's low sunlight, which indicates that it was raised indoors to be a substitution, and that's how he goes on alert that there is somebody there, which is when Zabuza makes his dramatic appearance by throwing his sword into a tree and then standing on it, and him and Kakashi have a mutual "your reputation precedes you" moment with each other where they both explain who the other is, and some other special features such as Kakashi, who has revealed that he has a Sharingan, and Zabuza, that he used to be one of the Mists, Anbu, and he has the nickname the Demon of the Hidden Mist. And Kakashi sends Team 7 to guard Tazuna, and he then starts to kind of have his standoff with Zabuza until Zabuza makes his move, and then they have a little back and forth before the episode ends. So now that we've been reminded about what happened in the episode, we'll now rank the episode. As always, we'll rank first on the mostly objective ranking list, followed by the personal ranking list. So on our mostly objective ranking, we have our rank values. We have our single arc main character development, which is Tazuna explaining who is after him and why. And then we also have Zabuza, who is revealing that he used to be an Anbu of the Hidden Mist and is nicknamed the Demon of the Hidden Mist. Then we have our single arc main character growth, which is Zabuza, who reveals the ninja art Hidden Mist Jutsu, silent killing technique, and the water clone jutsu. We also have our multi-arc main character growth, which was Kakashi with his Sharingan reveal. And that also leads into, his nickname Sharingan Kakashi, which is in the bingo book. And then the water clone jutsu as well, which he copied from Zabuza, who was using it, as one of the powers of the Sharingan is to copy the techniques of the opponents. And then we have the world building piece, which is that Shinobi can stand/walk on water, which we see Zabuza using when he does the hidden mist jutsu. And then we have our negative points. And our main negative point for negative messaging or behavior is Tazuna's emotional blackmail by bringing up his family members in order to basically emotionally blackmail the team to put themselves at risk beyond their skill level to protect the feelings of his son and daughter, which, again, they'd already agreed back in the last episode that they were going to carry on with the mission, so I don't think it was necessary to emotionally blackmail them per se, but he did do it, and he did do it on purpose, so I'm going to take 2 points for that, but it still leaves us above 10, which then brings us to another 10 out of 10 episode. And that now brings our mostly objective ranking list to in first. Enter Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke and Sakura, friends or foes. You failed Kakashi's final decision, a dangerous mission, Journey to the Land of Waves. This episode comes in fifth. It's in fifth because on the mostly objective ranking, when more than one episode has the same score, it gets ranked in episode order, and that is The Assassin of the Mist, followed by My Name is Konohamaru, and then Pass or Fail Survival Test. My personal ranking for this episode, I did put it in a 7 out of 10. So when I'm making these lists, I do try to balance my opinion on exposition because obviously as I'm rewatching this, I'm already well aware of all of the things being expressed in the exposition. So on the rewatch, it is incredibly boring to watch these parts because I already know this information. It's not new. And basically on screen, they're just sitting around and talking about things I already know, which isn't exactly compelling or engaging. But I have to consider when it was my first time watching through, how necessary was this exposition? Was this information I definitely needed to know? And in my opinion, yes, it is. They're fleshing out the story, the mission, like the backstory of why these things are happening. So even though it was objectively boring to watch, or not even objectively, but just like emotionally boring to watch, I do fully comprehend the necessity of this exposition, and the reason that it was so boring was because I'm rewatching it and I already know this stuff, so I don't need it. So basically, that entire first half of the episode, when they were just talking about these things and fleshing out the backstory and the characters, I was like, okay, I'm bored. Then we, of course, have Naruto showing off, which was very cringy. Secondhand embarrassment ensued, but it does turn out to be a good thing. Not that Naruto knows it because of the whole rabbit indicating the presence of what is most likely a Jonin. At least that's what Kakashi anticipates. I did find it amusing, the whole mutual your reputation precedes you between Zabuza and Kakashi, who are basically, both introducing the other because they both knew about the other because they are both in that elite Jonin status and they're both in the bingo book and they're both, like in each other's bingo books and they have information about each other. And then I did also enjoy the last bit of the episode where we had the back and forth. But again, I do think that they waited a pretty long time to get the fight started. Like there was a lot of, there was their mutual patting each other on the back about their reputations. Then there was like a long explanation about what a Sharingan is. Because of course, if you haven't seen it before, you wouldn't know. This is the first revealing of that eye visual jutsu. And then we, of course, had the hidden mist coming up with the silent killing technique. And it's basically Kakashi standing there, everybody else standing there, ready for the silent killing technique to come, and for Zabuza to make his move. And he's kind of hiding in the mist. So it basically is just a bunch of people standing around in the mist for a little bit. And then Zambozo, one of the things I did really enjoy was his creepy voice coming out of the mist, talking about all of the, like, listing off all the vital points and wondering which one he should kill them with. And I thought that was really a great moment. So the end of the episode did get exciting, and then once they do start the fighting, once he makes his move, then Kakashi, of course, counters him. He's a water clone. Then he goes to attack Kakashi, but he's a water clone. And then they basically have their like little back and forth. But that's where we leave the cliffhanger with that fight just starting. So I put it at 7 because the exposition, boring though it was, if it was your first time watching, would be 100% necessary. And so I'm not going to take too many points for it, even though I was kind of bored on the rewatch for it. The fight was exciting. I did find amusement in, again, the mutual your reputation precedes you back patting that they did. It was very fun. And of course, we got that action at the end, but I can't forget how I was disengaged from like the first probably 2/3 of the episode, and that is why it's only a 7 and not ranked higher. And so that brings the arc ranking so far on the personal ranking to in first, A Dangerous Mission, Journey to the Land of Waves. Then My Name is Konohamaru because he's adorable and so he probably will stay pretty high up. And then we have The Assassin of the Mist this episode in third, followed by Pass or Fail Survival Test, Enter Naruto Uzumaki, You Failed Kakashi's Final Decision, and then Sasuke and Sakura Friends or Foes is in 7th place. Bringing us to the series ranking so far, and on our mostly objective, this arc has a 64 out of 190, and on the personal side, a 48 out of 190. But with that, we've now rewatched and ranked Naruto Prologue / Land of Waves arc, episode 7, The Assassin of the Mist. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.